Okay, just a second. I need to start the recording as well because it got paused. Voila. So you said that. Sorry. Can we restart because I've got
Yes,
a
of
distraction.
course, of course. So I work as a wine journalist and also a publisher of website and books and previously magazines. And so in the course of my work as a wine journalist, I get sent things from Pernod, and I also occasionally buy things from them as a consumer. And when I travel, I specialize, Annalisa, in Bordeaux, to a lesser extent, Champagne. I also specialize in Japanese wine, Chinese wine, Indian wine. And so, in the course of my travels, I may have an appointment, say, in Champagne Perrijoet, in Epernay, uh, or less so now. I'm in Scotland and visiting maybe Aberlour or Longmore and so on.
Okay. And so, where your passion for wines and spirits come from?
No, I've been writing about wine since university, so that would be more than 40 years ago.
Hmm.
It's hard to remain passionate for 40 years. So let's put it this way: it's my job. It's a wonderful job. I enjoy it, but I don't have the same degree of fascination as
Hmm.
I had when 40 years ago. I'm more interested in arts and music. So wine is something I enjoy, but it's a job.
Oh, now it's a job. Okay. But I assume that you still love drinking wine, good wines and good champagne.
Yes, every day I drink.
Very good. So it means that somehow
Yes,
you like it.
yeah,
So let's say that there are worse jobs than what you do.
yes. I think we can
Okay.
agree on that. Yes,
Okay. Um, um, so you met Pernod Ricard 30 years ago. So about this is what
oh
you're
yeah,
talking.
yeah, yeah. As long as that, yes, of course.
Okay. What is your perception? So, as a customer in this case, not as a journalist, as a
Yes,
customer, what is your perception about Pernod Ricard products, and what do you consume?
yes. Well, let's say we talk about wines, champagne, and of course, Benelica also owns Jacob's Creek in Australia. They also own Brankoff Range in New Zealand. I visited all of them, of course. What impresses me about Benelica as a company, whether it's champagne, Australian wines, New Zealand wines, or whiskey, or cognac, I visited, of course, Martel. What impresses me is that they their fundamental outlook is the vineyards, for example, when it comes to wine. So there was one time I was visiting New Zealand, and they told me that Monsieur Ricard was coming, and the first thing he did was not to visit the winery. The first thing he did was to visit the vineyards.
Okay.
So this tells me that they understand the product. If you don't have good vineyards, you don't have good grapes, you cannot produce a great champagne in the cuvée. It must be in the vineyard first. So this, because at the end of the day, winemaking is farming. So if you understand that, if you have good cows, you can have good milk and good butter. If you have good grapes, you can make good wine. But if you have good grapes, you don't have a good winemaking team, it, it will destroy the grapes.
Mm-hmm.
So they look at the fundamentals. Uh, and this outlook, this philosophy, is replicated in the Couverie, meeting the champagne makers, Eve de Chambre, previously Didier Moriarty at Mums, uh, and meeting their winemakers from around the world. You can see that they understand that the human element is part of a chain. It's not exclusive to and outside of the whole chain. So that's reassuring. And the company and the owners and the people who work for the company, they have this in their mindset.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you have the same feeling about other brands?
I think some brands in champagne, I won't mention, but you can look around you.
Mm-hmm.
Some brands have become a bit detached from the process and the vineyards. Some brands now look at their wines or their champagne purely or mostly as a fashion item.
Mm-hmm.
So they are more interested to show you photographs of movie stars or pop stars drinking their champagne.
Mm-hmm.
And as a consumer, as a journalist, I don't see the connection. If
Okay.
I was a very impressionable person who doesn't, whose priority is not the taste, then maybe I say, oh, this person is drinking. So you can be influenced by that. But
Mm-hmm.
myself as a journalist and as a wine journalist, it doesn't convince me. And in fact, my reaction tends to be negative.
Okay. So it seems that you're less interested in the marketing strategies of the brand, but more in the behind the curtains. It's actually the real values that the brand is connected to. If I if
Yeah,
I if I if I can summarize a bit, am
yes,
I correct?
yes. I think the basic product, the
Mm-hmm.
quality of that product,
Mm-hmm.
is the most important thing for me.
Okay, but in this case, do you have any, for example, are you interested in the packaging or in the packaging or in the special shapes or special editions because I'm sure it's also part of the experience.
Yes, yes. No, I am not against good marketing. I
Mm-hmm.
think if you have a good product, you should have a good marketing.
I see.
But if your product is no good, you should not use marketing as a decoy or a disguise.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a good product, you have a responsibility to do very good marketing, very nice packaging, creative, imaginative, that is equal to what is inside the bottle.
Oh, okay.
So the two must go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, uh, if you you must present yourself well if you are going on stage to speak or to meet people. That's normal. But your opinion, what you say, must be genuinely believed and felt. If you are just saying it without believing yourself, then how you dress up makes no difference.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So when you choose as once again as a consumer, when you choose a bottle of champagne, for example, what attracts you? Why you're buying one instead of another one?
Uh, so as a consumer, there's an expression that we eat with our eyes first. So if you see a dish very nicely presented, or sometimes if it's a casserole, your grandmother's recipe, it doesn't have to be nicely presented. but in its own way, it's rustic, but it looks genuine and
Mm-hmm.
authentic. That is also a nice presentation when something is authentic. Or I also enjoy something that is very beautifully designed. So, for example, I have written and said that Pernod,
No, vabbè, ma
sorry, can you hear me still?
not really.
Okay. Sorry, my daughter is very rebellious. Uh,
Yeah,
she has to go to her uh, music, piano class.
yeah,
So let me come nearer. Is it better here?
yes, please.
Okay. So, so for me, I find very specifically the Pere Joet Fleur de Lis bottle.
Uh-huh.
That to me is, I have written and said, it is one of the most beautiful and recognizable bottle in the world. Uh, and it reflects very well uh, what is inside the bottle. Something
Ah,
that is elegant, something that is, I suppose you could say, very artistic and subtle, uh, and finesse.
okay.
So that is it's wonderful when what is outside is the same as what is inside.
Mm-hmm. What you meant before, actually, not just the beautiful soul, but also the beautiful body.
Yes, yes, everything
Okay,
together. Yes.
everything together. And then, do you buy, for example, buying of Perrier-Jouet champagne uh, for your personal consumption or also for gifting?
For me, it's mostly personal consumption, and
Mm-hmm.
then I take it to dinner or lunch with friends.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, in that sense, it's not. It's a different kind of gifting. It's gifting to be shared.
Uh-huh. Okay. So it means that when you're inviting your friends at home, so you like sharing, having these sharing moments with them, enjoying
Yes,
some fine champagne. Okay.
yes.
And then then another thing, and do you use, I assume, also the bottle of champagne? So can you name some other brands just to make a comparison?
Uh, well, I drink all kinds of champagne. So, so for example, you want to know the ones I like, or
the one you drink, actually, that you like, and then
ah,
the one you
okay,
like and why, for example.
yes, yes. So I like, for example, Grand Sec from Laurent Perrier. Uh, I like the idea of mixing three vintages into a cuvee. Sometimes when I want something very strong and full-bodied, old, maybe a bit classic style, Bollinger,
Hmm.
uh, and when I sometimes want a small grower, it could be, uh, for example, Igliorie. Uh, and when I want something very uh, elegant, fine, Peugeot, it doesn't have to be Belle Epoque. It can be something, it can be their Brut, it can
Hmm.
be their Blanc de Blanc. Um, and then I like it, this one maybe when it's a bit more aged, maybe a Dom Perignon with more age than just the new release.
Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, so many, so many.
Okay. Do you think it's difficult for a champagne consumer, for example, to be loyal?
Uh, I think the loyalty for me, I don't think not all consumers are different. My
Hmm.
loyalty is based on taste. It's not based on fashion. It's not based on packaging per se. So if the packaging changes, whether I like the new packaging or not, if the taste doesn't change, it's okay for me. But if it's the same packaging and the taste has changed, and I don't like the new taste, so I change.
Okay, but because so the offer is pretty vast, and then there are not really many substitutes for champagne. So champagne is champagne, but having different. So the offer being so big, I'm wondering if sometimes people are changing, but even you are changing because of the occasion, because of, I don't know, the price, maybe because of the impression they can do. Also, no, this is what I'm trying to understand. What is your feeling about it?
Uh, I think that segment of the consumer are mostly newer people drinking champagne, or if they are buying champagne for gifting. So, and especially I notice at airports duty free, packaging is very important. You don't buy a bottle of champagne and take it away like you take it in a cavist or a supermarket. It must be nicely packaged. It must be in a nice box, and sometimes a special carton or tube, because I think most of that kind of um, buying is for gifting. So I think for those people, yes, that's very important for them. But for me, I don't buy at airports. It's not where I buy my wines. I buy a case or I buy half a case. So I'm not a good representative consumer in that behavior.
No, it is interesting your point of view. Actually, you consider yourself as a different consumer because, but I think because of the knowledge you have, first of all, I assume, and then because actually also what you said, these consumers, according to you, are new to this kind of products, so they look for different link or a relationship with
Yes,
the bottles.
yes.
Okay, very interesting. And you said that you're buying products in different places. Where do you buy your products, actually?
Uh, well, if I buy Bordeaux wines, I buy from Bordeaux because I'm visiting Bordeaux all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if I buy champagne, a simple brut or something, I can ring up a distributor. I take 3 bottles, 6 bottles, uh, because without COVID, before COVID, I am constantly traveling. I am not
Mm-hmm.
in Singapore for more than 2 weeks. So
Ah,
when I, so if I come back from France or somewhere, I can maybe take a few bottles of special champagne, which I cannot find in Singapore, or the price is better there, or they have older vintages. So I buy in Singapore what I need to drink, more casual, simple,
mm-hmm.
and then the more special wines, Bordeaux, I buy from where the wines are made.
From the main source.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So
So it means that you're also looking for a special bottle, a special crew, so something unique, according to you.
uh, not necessarily unique. I mean, let's say if I'm buying a bottle of 96 or Chateau Bechevel or 85, you know, Pichon Comtesse, I must be certain where I buy the provenance of the wine
Mm-hmm.
is direct from the chateau or they got it direct from the chateau, and then they have stored it very good condition.
Of course. Yeah.
So it's not that the wine is special. Of course, the wine is special because it's older. But whether I'm buying champagne or Chateauneuf du Pape or Bordeaux, I must have the guarantee it has been looked after very well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you mentioned two things. You mentioned price. So when you fly back, you may look for good pricing, because I assume that in Singapore the price is higher.
Higher,
than,
yes, of course.
So, of course, price in this case can have a different meaning.
Yes.
And so can you tell me more about the price conditions when you buy a product, a bottle of champagne or another spirit,
yes,
or whatever it is?
Yes.
Can you tell me something about the pricing?
Yes, it's not only because it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm buying something older, I'm willing to pay more if I am guarantee of the provenance.
Mm-hmm.
So I will pay more for 20, 30 euro bottle of wine or champagne if I trust the place where I'm buying it from. So
Okay.
even if it's cheaper in Singapore or Hong Kong, I will not buy it
Okay.
because I don't know where it's been.
Kept.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it is not just the price, but is a good ratio between the quality to the conditions.
Yes, that's the number one consideration.
This is okay, very interesting. And then um, this is for the price. And then you mentioned about comment dice, la provenance, how do you say in English? Where the
Provenance?
product, where the product comes,
Provenance.
where the products come from.
Yes.
Is it important for you? Because you mentioned this word before.
Yes, the provenance means where the product has come from.
Mm-hmm.
Where has it been stored?
Okay.
So if the 20, 30 euro bottle of wine was bought from the chateau and has been kept in a good temperature, good condition, I will buy from the shop.
Okay.
But if I don't know the shop, no. Even if it's cheaper, I will not buy it.
Okay, yes, and now I see. Because actually I was thinking about provenance, mainly about the origin, so the country of origin of the product. Does
Uh,
the country of origin has also a meaning for you or not?
No, the country depends on whether I like the wine from
Mm,
that country. But
mm.
how the wine has been stored, that provenance is more important for me.
Okay, I see. And do you collect wines, or do you just, buy and then consume and then that's it?
Uh, well, I think I may have like 3,000 bottles.
Oula.
Uh, yes, but I buy to drink.
Okay.
So now I stop unless I see something interesting. I buy a few bottles because it's too much already. It's too
Mm-hmm.
much.
Okay, so you are not buying these products for other reasons than just having fun and then having pleasure.
Yes, yes,
So not
yes.
for investment, not for.
No, 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 no.
And do you know if this is a common practice in Singapore? So, do you know people who are buying these products for
Yes, yes,
investment?
of course. Yes, lots of my friends do. Yes,
And why they do that,
because
according to you?
they enjoy drinking it.
Oh no, but this is for personal consumption. It's not an investment. I mean.
Yeah, they're not investing. Some
Ah,
people
okay.
do. The ones who are investing, I don't want to know them. Some of them they, it's not interesting for me. This kind of people, because when you talk to them, they're talking about investing, stock market, this and that. It's not a very interesting conversation. But my friends who buy to drink, yes, they are interesting people because they have other interests. Some of them have interest in art. Some of them are, thinking about a family or something. So almost all my friends buy to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Some have more than others, more bottles than others. That's all.
So it means that the wine is really a sharing product.
Yes, exactly.
So it's a kind of wreath of, yeah, a wreath of, a wreath to the, a consumption wreath, something like this.
Yes, I mean,
Okay.
everybody brings a bottle, and sometimes someone brings something very special. Another time, somebody brings something more special, and then it goes on.
Do you think that drinking wine together, but also gifting or so opening the bottle, as you mentioned, with some friends where they are with you, is also a way to to how can I say? It's a way to share other things. So it's the legacy from which you can then develop other interests.
I, I think so. You see, I don't give bottles of wine as gifts to people. And
Mm-hmm.
my friends don't give me bottles of wine. So when we meet each other for a meal, we sit around, everyone brings a bottle.
Mm.
So it's not a gift, but I suppose it's a kind of gift, but everybody opens and you all drink it together. But we don't give each other bottles of wines for gift because there's no occasion for that. It's,
Okay.
but we meet each other quite regularly, different friends, once a week, sometimes once in 2 weeks, sometimes same 2, 3 times a week because with COVID, you're not going anywhere. And everybody brings a bottle.
Okay. Okay. I love this sharing. I'm trying to figure out you with this with circle of friends because I think it's very convivial. It's very convivial
Yes,
moment. Yeah, this is the conviviality that goes. Actually, I found the word. The
yeah,
conviviality that comes with the consumption of wine. I see.
precisely.
Um, I would like to switch now to another thing. Actually, your relationship with Pernod Ricard. So, actually, do you attend special events with them? Are you? How they engage you as a consumer?
Well, they, uh, especially because of COVID, small group, maximum 8.
Hmm.
So they invite me and then the Marie, who is their luxury executive. So
Hmm.
she will invite another 6 other people,
Hmm.
and we have lunch, dinner. She hosts it, we taste it, and then these friends, oh, they like it, they buy it, and so on.
Hmm.
And so tomorrow night, I'm going to a dinner wedding, and maximum you are allowed 50 people,
Ah.
uh, wedding only, and the lady who is getting married, uh, she loves Pernod, so she's going to serve Perejauet the whole evening.
Okay.
So, so when Marie invites us to lunch or dinner and then serves the product, it's a very elegant way of introducing your product.
Hmm.
Or if you know the product, a new cuvee, a new vintage. It's like inviting your friends over for dinner,
Hmm.
except, well, maybe she didn't start as a friend, but after a while, a few times you become friends. It's not so difficult.
So it seems that you're not perceiving these moments as a marketing or selling moments.
Well, of
Once
course,
again, of course they
I
are,
mean,
but
yes, we are. I mean, we're all adults. We know that, Marie is here doing her job to sell her product. Uh, but we expect her competitors to do the same. We expect her competitors to do the same.
Mhm.
So some people do it more elegantly, and some people do it a bit more aggressively.
Okay.
So depending on the the guest, depending on us, sometimes we prefer a certain way of doing it more than another.
Can you sorry define a bit better what do you mean with the with this elegance? I like this term.
I, I think how she sets up the room uh, and her personality,
Mm-hmm.
she's she does it with finesse, with subtlety. Of course, everybody she's doing her job, and we also feel as consumer, we feel privileged that she's inviting us because the me and my friends, we I hope we are not aggressive people, and we don't feel like, oh, it's our entitlement, No, we feel very honored and happy to be invited. And when we're there, we talk about the product, we talk about everyday issues, everyday things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite natural and normal. And after a few of these events, you have a friendship
Mm-hmm.
with the person, and so. But then you find you can always tell. Sometimes you are wrong, but then some people are quite aggressive, or when they listen to you, they're not really listening to you. They're just asking questions, and then they switch off something. Uh, so at our age, we are quite experienced with meeting people. So we find some people nicer than others. And the ones who are not so nice, after once or twice, you stop going.
So it seems that you are valuing the I love the word, the natural approach that they have with you. So the human relationship
Yes.
that they're able to establish with you as a
Yeah.
customer is important.
Yes, very much. I think that's fundamental, almost. That's
Oh,
fundamental.
okay. Do you think there is anything that the brand can improve in order to build even a better relationship with you?
Mm, I think, yes, there is an area. Uh, Before they launch a new product or a new vintage, maybe a few weeks, even 1, 2 months before that, inform us that this product, this new vintage, this new cuvee is coming in,
Hmm.
rather than when it's already here, and then you invite us and tell us. We like that, of course. We appreciate that. But because we are interested in the product, even before it arrives in Singapore,
Hmm.
maybe give us some information. And today is very easy with email, PDF attachment, because we like to go and read something. Sometimes with nothing to do, we like to read something. And when we go to the lunch or dinner or the launch, uh, we have already known something, do a bit of homework to find out what it is, not just as a journalist, but as a consumer.
Hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like before I go to an art exhibition, I read up on uh, which period of the artist, which era of his work. Is it Picasso, his blue period, his Cubist period, or whatever.
Hmm.
And then when I go to the exhibition, or I go to the concert, or even to go to see a movie, I have some idea of what's involved.
Okay.
So
So
they can
you
tell us in advance.
so you like to be informed. So actually they can improve, if I can translate, they can improve their communication with their clients in order to keep you informed and to share more more yes the new meeting is coming. um, so sorry, I was saying, so this communication with you can be improved. This is what you
Yeah,
would like
uh,
to.
it's already good, but on the day of you invite us, you let us taste this new product. I'm
Hmm.
saying maybe 1 month before, 2 months, it's arriving from France. You can send us some information on the email,
Okay.
and then say, oh, next month or in May, this product is coming. Meantime, here is some information about it, how it's made, and what is the cepage and all that. That's interesting for us.
Definitely. And then, sorry, the very last question. And then, as a customer, were you ever invited in France, for example, or to visit the wineries, or so other wineries, not the ones that you mentioned, some in Australia, but the other
Yes,
wineries in other countries? But
yes, all the
not as a journalist, eh? As a
ah
journalist, I assume.
ah. Well, they always know I'm a journalist anyway,
But yeah, you're right.
so
You
I
have a
don't know.
PAs, you know, you have a
Yeah, yeah, no, they know who I am.
okay,
Sorry.
yes. So I need to cancel this question from from
Yeah,
our
yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
Okay. I don't know if there is anything that you want to share as a last thought about our conversation before I
Uh,
leave.
uh, Not really, not
Okay.
really. Yeah.
I thank you so much, and actually, your valuable information are so important for the research. So we will keep you informed about the results at the end of the research. So we will come back to you with the executive summary, and
Thank you.
then if by chance you want to add anything else,
Yes.
don't hesitate to contact us, because actually your point of view is so important for us and for the brand.
Uh, Thank you so much, Annalisa. It was a pleasure for me.
Thank you so much, and I wish a very
Okay.
good evening with your family and a good
Thank you.
weekend. Bye.
And you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.